You're a girl, girlless girl tonight. The girl tonight. Hot. Girl tonight.
Thinking about when Kelly gets to the big construction scene and hears Carlos and is like, Carlos? And he's like, no! This isn't Carlos! But, like, no one can do it because no one else can do it.
It's his special skill. Oh, he's amazing.
He's amazing!
Well, welcome to From Rushers with Love. We are your podcast for all things Big Time Rush, and this time we're talking about Big Time Mansion. My name is Maggie.
I'm Haleigh.
I'm Ashton.
I love that you hair flipped there, even though it's not on
it.
And what time is it?
It's girl time.
What if you have a sinus infection? Isn't that doctor time?
It's girl time!
I gotta think of new... I can't just keep stealing Logan's.
But it's a really good one. Big Time Mansion was directed by Joe Menendez. He just does a lot of Nickelodeon stuff. It's going to sound like any of the other ones that I've said before. And it was written by Jed Spingren?
Okay.
Spingarn, yes. And he was really involved in Johnny Bravo, Jimmy Neutron, Back at the Barnyard, and Pinky and the Brain.
A good resume.
Yeah, it's a really good resume. Also, according to his IMDb, he's a Libra.
Oh, me too.
I don't know why they have that there. But that's what we need to know going into it.
Well, it is season 1, episode 7. It was released February in 2010. It opens in the Palmwoods pool.
Logan walks up to Kendall and James. And first of all, it looks like they're all in pajamas, which is really cute, but then they're not. They're in, like, swim attire, I guess.
Weird.
But I thought it was pajamas.
They wear pajamas later.
Yeah.
They do not disappoint.
And he asks what's going on.
In unison, their answer is Carlitos. So I don't know how they managed to do that in unison, unless they planned it. But no, they share the brain cell. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. Okay. Yeah. So Carlos is attempting to set the underwater farts world record. Okay, I have a lot of things to say about Logan's response. Can you guys bear with me for a second?
I'm so excited.
But Logan's like, but he's too far down. Underwater farts are impossible to achieve at water pressure in excess of 4.2 pounds per square inch. And then they're looking at him weird. So he goes, what? It's basic fartology. That's not the part I want to talk about.
It's awful.
So Carlos is in the Palmwoods pool, which is tiny. You could definitely stand up in it. How high does it go? Like, not even up for the chest. Yeah, it's waist deep. So... Okay, let's start with how the atmospheric pressure at sea level, if you're just standing on land, that's 14.7 pounds per square inch. So unless Logan's talking about just extra added pressure from the water, let's be really generous. Let's say Carlos is 6 feet underwater, which is not true, but we're going to say that. So the pressure that he would be experiencing at 6 feet depth is about 17.3 pounds per square inch, which is only adding 2.6 pounds per square inch for the pressure that's only exerted by the water. So he'd have to be, in order to have an extra 4.2 pounds per square inch, he would have to be 23 feet deep in the water. So what is Logan talking about? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out he's either very, very incorrect and just making shit up, or the Big Time Rush universe exists in a timeline where the Earth has less gravity. Which, I don't know, maybe that explains some stunts on the show.
That's what I want to be true. It has to be true because Logan's a genius.
I
can't be wrong about things.
I think that the more we talk about Logan and his facts and numbers, the more we're realizing that he's just dumb.
Oh, he's a genius.
I think that he decided he wants to be a doctor and he was insecure about his intelligence, rightfully so. And the boys were like, no, you're really smart. You're like so smart. And they all support him because they want him to feel smart.
Just like how they want James to feel...
And like Logan probably gets decent grades in school. So.
Right. And so they're probably just like, self-fulfilling prophecy. If we keep telling him he's smart, he'll become smart.
Because they don't want him to take they all have their little roles,
That's
so
true.
they're like, if we put him in the smart bubble, he won't try to encroach on whatever we're doing.
True.
The smart bubble.
The other possibility is that they're all just so dumb that he is by default the smart one, but it's not saying much.
I don't think Kendall is dumb though. I don't know.
He's great, but not
He schemes.
But not serious.
Yes, he's great, but not serious.
Oh yes.
He's the
Well,
slacker.
he has to be himself, and if being himself doesn't mean being smart, then that's too bad.
Right. Like, they always call Logan the smart one.
Logan
But-
calls himself the smart one.
Right, but it
sometimes.
really is Kendall. Because he's the one who actually comes up with the most successful ideas.
And fixes things when
Yeah.
they go wrong, usually.
So he is the smart one, but he deferred it to Logan so he didn't have the
Well,
pressure
'cause
on
he doesn't
himself.
want to be a nerd.
Yeah, he just doesn't want the pressure.
I think he just doesn't want to be a nerd.
That too. But that's not who he is. He's trying to be true to himself, and himself is not a nerd.
Himself is the bad boy.
Duh.
Every time I love it.
So
Alright, Carlos is still underwater. He's been underwater this whole time.
With his helmet.
So they're all just watching him. They're like, so how do I know when it's coming? And they're like, I don't know. And then there's like an explosion, I think.
I wrote down geyser esque.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think that's like how air comes out of someone's butt. You know?
Well, he did just eat a lot of beans.
Oh my god, I ate so many beans.
So many, there's cans of baked beans floating in the pool. Hold on. Is this like their day off? It's not their day off because they go to the studio later. So
They got up really early to do
they
this.
woke up and they were like, "Hey, what should we do with our downtime?"
Okay, it never comes back though. This is just a cold open. This is just
Yeah.
unrelated to anything. Cold open, and I wish they did more of them.
They have like, where did they get all these? Did they buy all of these beans for this, or did they like steal
Put
them?
them on the shopping list for Mrs. Knight to buy.
It's their first paycheck.
Please buy
Or
900 cans of baked beans.
Or you can order room service at the Palmwoods. Maybe they just raided the kitchen.
Oh, true. Okay, wait, I don't remember when maid service is mentioned at the Palmwoods, but they mention it. So, is it an apartment where they have a paid maid service? Because, like, damn, that's really fancy. They have room service and, like, maids come in and clean up their shit. I thought it was just, like, you pay rent and then you live there and do your own cleaning. Sorry, that really threw me off. I was not expecting that to be mentioned,
But
so...
it's the home of the future famous.
I think if they did like a monthly rent type situation, it would get sticky for bidders because if they get a gig, they'll leave.
And get sticky for bidders.
Sorry.
He's in a bit of a sticky bucket.
Don't do this. But like, I think he needs to set it up officially as a hotel, but comfortably enough that people can stay there long term.
Interesting. Yeah, because we did have to pay more attention to figure out what his role actually is. Does he own the building? Well, yeah, we'll
mean,
keep an eye out.
The real answer is that it's fake.
No, it's not.
In this alternate universe where the Earth's gravity is less, that's also, hotels are just different.
We haven't even gotten to the theme song, guys.
Anyway, Kendall's just trying to get it on video, but it gets sprayed by the water and it starts smoking, and then they're all disappointed because then they can't send it to the world record guy? I don't know.
I also love the dated video camera.
Yeah.
Oh, such a good cold open.
So, theme song. And then they're in the studio singing. I forgot what song.
Famous.
I knew it was famous or
Dude, they sing
Singing
Famous
Stars. I couldn't.
so many times in this episode. It's the only song they sing.
So they're singing Famous. And Gustavo stops them. Is it Kelly that says they sound great?
Well, no, I think Kendall says, it sounded great, right?
Yes.
And
And
then
then-
Gustavo says, Green Day sounds great. You guys didn't make me want to vomit.
Did he put the emphasis on day?
I don't-
Green Day.
I don't think
he did.
Green
but-
Day sounds great.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
You
okay.
guys didn't make me want to vomit.
If you said Green Day, I would have written it down for sure.
Yeah. So they get really upset because I know they did a good job. They
Yeah.
did sound good. It was this, the recording on the CD. That's what they played.
Was Famous on a CD?
It actually was not. It was released on iTunes, and I bought it with my own money. I don't know. Where did I get money when I was 12?
iTunes cards. Everyone got iTunes cards for like Christmas and stuff.
Also, I wasn't 12. How old was I? Oh, well.
It's alright. So there's a little back and forth about like, hey, you should be nicer to them, and when I'm nice to them, they won't respect me. Well, you should be nice anyway, because you're being kind of a jerk.
But showing things is a sign of weakness.
He also mutes them while they're still in the sound booth, which is really funny.
Well, he says, and besides, you don't hear them thanking me.
And then they come out and Kendall thanks him.
He says, hey, we just wanted to say thank you.
I'm sure that Mrs. Knight beforehand was like, have you been thanking him for all of the great things he's done for you? And so he has to make sure that he thanks them.
Yeah.
No, but that doesn't seem like... I think he just sensed...
Maybe.
I mean, it's his own way of trolling on Gustavo.
Oh,
he
for
just,
sure.
He has another sense for it.
He's a lip reader.
Oh, God.
He learned to read lips just so that he can mess with Gustavo more.
So, Kendall thanks him and...
You know what? Sorry. Because he muted them, but he didn't mute himself. So they heard the conversation.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's extremely good.
So, Kendall thanks them, and Gustavo's like, you guys are done for the day. Because he and Callie...
They're off to North Carolina.
Yay! They mentioned it again.
Yay.
Also, their flight leaves in 49 minutes, and I don't think they have enough
Oh my God, no,
to get
to another...
LAX.
It's another universe where...
We can't keep relying on
I would like to know the street address of Rock Records so that I can calculate their drive time
Same.
to LAX, because I don't think 49 minutes is going to cut it.
Maybe they need to be at the airport. Oh no, he said the flight leaves.
Yeah.
Maybe
Terrible.
Maybe Kelly told him that's when the flight leaves, so that they would be on time.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
So
when they say they're off to North Carolina, Carlos says, "Ooh, can you bring us back a Tar Heel?" So I did. Did you guys Google Tar Heel?
No, it's a sport team.
I knew it was the Tar Heel state, because I think I was like reading election coverage, and then like sometimes to jazz it up, they'll say like the X state instead of the state they're talking about. And I was reading about North Carolina, and they said the Tar Heel state, and I was like,
basketball, right?
I know there's definitely some sports team. I want to say football, but I don't know if that's true. No? Okay.
it's not football.
So either he meant bring us back a basketball player, but okay, so Google said that Tar Heel is the nickname given to someone who is a native or resident of North Carolina. So does he just want a person? Wait, because George's from North Carolina, so he wants another girl from North Carolina. Oh no!
Oh, human trafficking.
Oh, Gustavo.
Well, he doesn't do it.
No.
He's fine.
Yeah.
We don't have to cancel Gustavo yet.
Not yet. Wait, are we in an alternate universe where Tar Heel means something else?
What else would it mean, though?
I don't know. In my head, I was just imagining a horseshoe.
I was imagining like a shoehorn, and I don't think either of us is right.
What's the Tar Heels logo?
Definitely something metal.
Hang on. Let me find out the Tar Heels logo. The last thing I looked up was a picture of Bandana Man.
Good.
It's a ram.
Oh.
With like really curly horns.
Okay, so
Can I say the
sailor
exact
hat.
line real quick because it dovetails into Carlos's?
So wait, Carlos wants them to bring him back an Aries from North Carolina is what I'm reading here.
He just wants a ram. He doesn't want a person.
Well, because Carlos goes, "Ooh, can you bring us back a Tar Heel?" And Gustavo goes, "Ooh, I'm thinking about bringing back a hot new band that I can replace you."
It's like, where did this come from? He was fine with them. He enjoyed them.
Because he needs them to feel like they have to be at their best or else their jobs are on the line.
They schemed with him. They had fun.
I think, realistically, they, on some level, know that he's just putting on a show. I think especially after seeing him interacting with Griffin, they understand where it's coming from more, if they can think this critically. I know James can't. And so they, on some level, recognize that he doesn't mean this, so they don't take it personally. And he, on some level, recognizes that it's just for show. He's doing it because he needs them to respect him or whatever. Even though it's not doing any good for him, he should just give it up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my 2 cents.
You can't replace them with a better band because Jane's got 2 new headshots in. Just one hot young doctor I like to think was inspired
by Dr. Hollywood.
Hollywood from the previous episode, and then one hot, greasy mechanic. And,
Where does he?
gross.
Where does he get these?
Where does he find time? He's got to do band stuff, and he's got to scheme and like set the underwater fart world record.
Okay, they must have gotten a paycheck before this episode, and Carlos spent it on beans, and James spent it on headshots. That's the only
What
answer.
did Kendall and Logan spend it on?
Well,
Pajamas.
I was gonna say Carlos.
stuff.
'Cause Carlos also has a sledgehammer at one point.
True.
So did one of them buy the baked beans for Carlos? Maybe that'll put it into like a combines like.
I like to think that he stole the sledgehammer from Big Time Crib.
Yes. Then he talks about needing a mansion setter, right? Sorry.
Lives in a mansion.
But Kelly's like, no, you said you would take care of that. And Gustavo is like, there's no way I would say. But then she pulls out a tape recorder and plays him saying, Kelly, I'll find someone to house at my mansion. And she's like, I record everything now. So good for her.
Also, she's wearing a really good. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about her blue shirt. It sticks in my brain. It's like very poofy, but a really good color of blue. Interesting texture. I don't know if it's a good shirt or a bad shirt. It's definitely a shirt. I haven't had enough time to think about it.
Okay.
Anyway, that's not related to what's happening this week. And then he asks, who's going to dust my...
100-inch plasma,
Thank you.
feed my exotic pets, and make sure my $1 million media room stays set at 68 degrees.
I said so close out loud when he said 68.
You can't say that on Nickelodeon. And the boys obviously want to mansion shit. Mansion set.
I mean, it all applies here.
They obviously want a mansion set. And he says, no, I'm not going to let the monkeys mansion sit, whatever. He calls them monkeys.
Logan's like, I thought we were dogs.
And
You're monkey dogs!
And the answer is no. So Kelly pulls them in the office because that's where she reveals their flight is leaving really soon and they need to solve this immediately.
Yeah, and they can't use freight train because he tried it before and he did the risky business slide into a big foyer and he knocked over a priceless marble statue and broke it.
And I would like to mention he was eating a sandwich.
We also don't know anything about the value of the statue.
We're assuming it's priceless
Yeah.
because, well, I don't think his chains are worth real money.
That's true.
All of his money goes into his mansion. That's
Well,
what I
because he
believe.
has the $40,000 couch. You could also think about it because in our universe, at least, Federico Benini, is that his name?
Yeah.
Is not a real designer. I mean, there's guys out there, but they're not couch guys. So did he just make up that name and that price?
No, I think it's
To
like a
flex on them.
Cosmopolitan magazine
Yeah.
situation.
No, but I know this, but I really enjoy the idea that he made up a designer so he could just flex on everybody.
He would. Also, Freight Train is perfect.
Yeah.
And then he runs away. Ugh.
But their flight leaves in 49 minutes, so someone's got a mansion sit. And so they enlist
The boys.
the boys. And there are 5 mansion sitting rules at Casa Gustavo. They are as follows. 1. Stay out of his media room. 2. Do not open his living room fridge. 3. Keep the butts off his $40,000 Federico Benini couch.
And then there's a whip crack sound.
Oof.
First, it was to James, who did like thumbs up. Then it was to Carlos, who did thumbs up. And then it was to Kendall, who did like a really sarcastic, like, yeah.
Didn't you do the finger guns? You did
Like,
double
yeah,
finger
double
guns.
finger guns. And then like kind of eye rolled afterwards. And so he's enjoying his role.
Which brings us to 4, which is do not touch his Peruvian hairless cat, Monty.
I
Logan
love cats.
says, oh, I love cats. And Gustavo says, don't touch him!
I don't even like it.
So I don't think Peruvian hairless cats are a thing because Peruvian hairless dogs are a thing. So I don't really know how that translates.
I
but-
think Nickelodeon just thought Peru was really funny.
Mm.
Because I'm also thinking of Peruvian puff peppers from Drake and Josh.
Oh, no. I don't want to talk about Drake and Josh ever on this podcast.
So I gotta see if I don't think Jed Springer wrote any Drake and Josh actually. So
Good.
he wasn't involved in that little gag.
Don't want to go there.
I don't think there's really a lot of crossover between this and
Yeah,
Drake and
'cause
Josh.
Because Ned's Declassified was the big crossover.
Yeah, because Drake and Josh was a
Schneider.
Schneider.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like, it was all Nickelodeon, and clearly they all worked, you know, they're using the same kind of team, so it's...
No, I mean, everyone who did Drake and Josh was working on iCarly, I think.
Yeah,
Well, actually, Erin Sanders was on Zoe 101, which was Schneider, and now she's Camille, so she did it.
And by
she
now...
crossed over.
By now, we mean 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rule 5 was, if anything is broken in his mansion, they're all fired.
Are they fired from mansion sitting, or are they fired from being a band?
Singing.
I assumed, from being a band.
Yeah.
Because that would be really convenient if he needs them to mansion sit so he can go find a better band, and if they mansion sit bad, he will need the better band because they will be fired.
So Gustavo goes, "Are we clear?" And they all yell, "Yes!" And then it cuts to Mrs. Knight saying, "No!"
Because they're too young.
The logic that they apply here.
But first he says, "I'm not too young, I'm 16.
Which is really funny because he's definitely, like, Kendall Knight
Schmidt.
is 16. Kendall Schmidt is not?
I'm sorry.
What?
He said Kendall. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. You said Kendall not.
No, I did not!
You did.
What did she say?
I did not say Kendall not. I'm cutting this. This didn't happen.
Please cut this. Oh my god. Okay.
But Kendall Knight is 16. Kendall Schmidt is not, and it's real fun to see, like, this grown man. I'm 16! It's like the Terry Crews wearing a 8-year-old girl.
They're all 16, and he's like, combined, we're 64!
And
That's
Logan
older
goes,
than you!
well, that's where Logan cuts and he's like, "That's older than you." I mean, that is older than you, isn't it?
He's not helping!
And then Logan is like, we're men now!
We are men now, Mrs. Knight.
So,
Well, this is where Kendall's also being salty about how his mom is giving him dinosaur-shaped chicken. And she's like, "But you love that." And he goes, "Yeah, when I was 8.
Which is really disrespectful. I also love dino chicken nuggets.
the only reason I have ceased to love it is because they don't make vegetarian ones.
Mm.
The second they do,
It's all over.
Yeah, so then Logan's telling her that they're men. But then James and Carlos are having a moment. Their dinosaurs are in a big battle.
And they're roaring.
Yeah.
I love when they just get to be children.
But and immediately after that, it was on Mrs. Knight sighs and goes, "Fine." After
they're also eating like Kraft mac and cheese, which no one comments on, but I want to say it. And they're like dipping the nuggets in ketchup. It's just the most childish possible meal.
I also enjoy how Kendall, he like puts his hand on his mom's shoulder and goes, "Mom, it's time." And she goes, "I want hourly updates," and they all cheer, but Carlos knocks over James's chocolate milk, and then Carlos goes, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," with a mouthful of dinosaur chicken nuggets, and then James tackles him to the floor.
And then Katie steals their chicken nuggets.
Oh, Logan and Katie make eye contact, and they both reach over and steal them, yeah.
Can we? I'm so sorry. I want to talk about the food more.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like Mrs. Knight would not voluntarily feed them these things. Maybe she would.
I think she would.
I think,
I don't know.
because she was only about, okay.
If I was entrusted with 3 other people's children, I would probably not give them, like, these foods, because then the other parents would, like, dunk on me for it.
Okay,
Like,
but here's
please
the
give
thing.
my child a vegetable.
Here's the thing. She has to feed 5 children.
Yeah.
And presumably has a job at this point.
Yeah,
You know how many frozen pizzas I make for other people's children?
I guess.
Like, this is what you're getting. I'm gonna go change the baby. I think it's very realistic. One of the most realistic parts of this episode.
My other theory was that they bought all of this food with their paycheck. that they spent on it.
No,
This
she
is
made
a
the food
Mrs.
for
Knight, yes. Because Kendall doesn't want his dinosaur-shaped chicken, and that's what she keeps feeding him.
But she keeps feeding him
Your
that
ex.
because Logan and Carlos love the dino chicken nuggets. Clearly.
So
They're probably picky eaters and they won't eat much else. And she's
I
like,
had to, I had to force reset my brain because Haleigh said Kendall nut, and now I don't know anything.
big time nut. So we only ever see Mrs. Knight trying to feed them healthy snacks in that one episode where they're like on a reality TV show and she's on camera. So she keeps walking around with a tray of, you want some healthy snacks? But I don't think she ever does that before.
No. She will.
She's doing everything she can to survive.
Yeah. And honestly, good for her because it's 4 16-year-old boys and
Combined, they're 64.
and they're
And that's older than her.
a lot of energy. Also, they haven't said hockey players from Minnesota in a couple episodes. Oh shit. So I guess we're past that.
So after Carlos gets tackled to the floor, Kendall just looks at his mom and goes, I'll be in charge. Which, I guess if you had to put one in charge, I guess it's him. But
He's gonna put himself in charge.
yeah,
No matter
or
what.
they're gonna put him in charge because they mess up and don't know what to do.
Which, spoilers!
Oh. So she set her phone number on all of their speed dials. Just dial M for mommy. And she brought their jammies. And
Katie, get out of the bag, you're not staying.
so I think if Katie did stay, I don't think any of that would have happened.
No.
Any of the ensuing events, I think it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for that, Mrs. Knight. But it's fine. It works out mostly.
So they walk in, and the first thing I noticed is that Gustavo has replaced the statue that Freight Train broke.
It's also playing classical piano music.
Okay. Carlos immediately perceives it as a helmet rack and tries to hang the helmet on it, which he's never been so enthusiastic about putting the helmet on something other than himself before. It's a little OOC for me. Personally.
Well, he's still kind of waterlogged from being in the pool for so long.
Poor Carlos. So they stop him, and Kendall's like, we have 64 years of experience together.
No, it wasn't even together. It was just between us. We have 64 years of combined experience.
Which
so we have to be responsible.
I love that he's counting the first 4 years of their lives.
Yeah. But then he changes pretty quickly to, who am I kidding? I'll race you to the media room. So, yeah.
Let's go to North Carolina.
Yes.
And it says it at the bottom just to make sure that you know that that's where it is.
Which is definitely not where it was filmed.
Doesn't matter. It's where it is.
We've got these 3 boys in a recording
Is it the
booth.
same set?
I don't know.
No, it's a little bit different.
I mean,
Well,
did they alter the set?
I'm sure they altered this.
I mean, is it the same set they're filming
Yeah.
in physically? Okay.
I'm sure.
Probably.
So we got these 3 new boys.
The windmills.
The windmills. And they're singing Famous.
And they're not doing the job that I want them to do.
No. But Gustavo immediately says, that was great. So, okay, sure. But then he goes, and now to break their spirits. And then he tells them that was amazingly average. And then they're like, well, how can we make it better, Mr. Roxer?
They grovel so much, I'm scared for them.
I know.
I worry about them.
Like, yes, sir, we have total respect for your judgment.
Gustavo's like, they sing amazing, they respect me, and I am so not missing Kendall and his pack of monkey dogs right now. So, he didn't need to continue with the monkey dogs thing because Big Time Rush is not there. He could have just dropped it. But he's like, no, I like that. I'm going to continue using that for the remainder of the episode
He's lying to himself.
for fun. So we go back to Casa Gustavo, where they have already broken rule number 1.
They have entered the media room.
Logan is so nervous about this.
Well, because they're playing one of those, golf video games. I don't know how it works. We actually hit the golf ball and it hits a screen.
It looks like a projector.
Okay.
Which is weird because he did say he had a 100-inch plasma screen TV.
Oh, true. Right.
Flannel.
But James is saying, now watch the birdie, boys. So I'm wondering if they've ever played real life golf? Or are they just playing it like hockey? Wait, what's that? What's that movie?
What?
The Adam Sandler movie.
What hockey
Happy
golf?
Madison?
Happy Madison. That's what's happening here is a Happy Madison moment.
Oh god.
But it's pretty brief, so now we can move on and not talk about Adam Sandler anymore.
Cool.
I mean, birdie is a golf term.
No, but he's a hockey player playing golf.
Oh,
And
I've
he's-
never seen the movie. I just know that
Oh,
that's
okay.
or
No.
Billy Madison is the movie. Happy Madison is
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
production company.
Yeah. That one. What I'm saying, James is playing, he's probably playing golf like he plays hockey, and is presumably good because they watched the Birdie Boys. And then they're yelling, miss it, miss it.
They're just having a good time.
Okay, they're eating popcorn, and it's like all over the floor and the furniture.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's nothing that a good vacuum won't fix.
Right. But I feel like that's the easiest, that's really easy not to happen.
Oh, yes, but they're disasters. We've established this many times over.
So they're like, okay, we've broken rule number 1, but it stops here, right? And then it cuts to them all standing in front of his living room fridge, contemplating it.
And Carlos has a Gustavo recollection that is not what Gustavo really said.
Help yourselves to anything in my living room fridge.
Yeah.
And then Kelly's standing behind him, nodding her head, like, yeah.
And I don't know if they all have this moment or if it's just Carlos.
I mean, because Logan says that's not what they said.
And they're like, yes, it is. So they're wondering why Gustavo locks this fridge.
It's like a big lock and chain around.
There's a big padlock.
Combination lock. It's not even a padlock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. They say, I bet he keeps his heart in there. And Logan says, or his victims. And then Carlos says, or food. Which is like, yeah, it's a fridge. So no, but I don't mean that in a way making fun of Carlos. I'm like, yeah, like, yes. Why would the other one?
Carlos is just being pragmatic.
He's just being correct. Mm-hmm. Well, there's only one way to find out.
So just gotta line up the tumblers and...
They place their hands between the cylinder and the central housing.
That's it.
And then hit it with a sledgehammer! And then he screams. And then they open the fridge. And there's, like, angelic vocalizing.
It's just...
Chocolate pudding cups?
It's just individual cups of chocolate pudding on every shelf, on every, like, door shelf.
It's filled to the brim.
There's gotta be
And they're so excited.
200 of them.
They're so excited they just scream, pudding! Which, like, at first I was like, why does he have that much pudding? And then I'm like, actually, I wish I had that much pudding.
Yeah.
Again, it's just to, like, just because he can.
Yeah. He's living his best life,
Yeah.
and I applaud him for it.
So back in apartment 2J, Mrs. Knight, she's having a rough time. She's looking through her family photo albums and she keeps showing Katie pictures. Like, oh, he's 10 here. He still needed me to wipe his nose. Oh, he's 2 there. Needed me to wipe everything. And Katie's like, okay, I get it. There's a lot of wiping. So this has been going on for a while, presumably. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm not used to this empty nest thing. And Katie's
Also,
like,
I'm sorry, what is the order of her photo album? Usually it's
by amount of
chronological.
wiping.
No, it's just a greatest hits album.
Probably.
Oh, love her.
Mm-hmm.
So Katie takes it upon herself to make her mom feel better by pretending she needs to be babied. So she takes out a thermometer, and while Mrs. Knight is
Getting her a blanket.
she takes the thermometer and puts it in
Her
a
tea.
cup of tea, and then takes it out and is like, look, I have a fever of 103. Mrs. Knight freaks out and
Temperature 103.
So one line I did really like right before that is she's still being sad, and then she just goes, maybe it's time for me to find a nice ice floe and float out to sea. So Katie's trying to stop her mother from floating out to sea.
So dramatic, and I love it.
Yeah.
she's sick, quote unquote, and Mrs. Knight freaks out and tries to put her to bed and stuff, and Katie's like, maybe some online poker will settle my stomach.
I was thinking ginger ale, but anything for my little princess.
She just really needs those guys.
At the beginning of this next scene is, like, I think the worst, because it's so stressful for me to watch, and I don't know why, because I know what's going to happen.
Right. The only thing I wrote was, messy pudding boys, how do they eat so much pudding? That's all that I can say about this.
Why do I try? So they spill chocolate pudding on Gustavo's $40,000.
I want to point out it's 100% Kendall's fault, because he looks over, he like finished his own cup, and then I don't remember whose cup it was, James's. So he just goes, ooh, and then he reaches his spoon over and takes a giant spoonful out and is slowly reaching it back towards his mouth. Like there's like a full couch cushion in between them. So, and then it falls on the couch.
But he's in charge. He's the responsible
He's the one in
guy.
charge.
Yeah.
And so there's this off-white colored couch with a chocolate pudding on it now.
James yells, Gustavo's gonna kill us, and we're only 64 years old!
Love that.
And then Kendall says, Logan, brain, now, even though he was demonstrably incorrect about the thing with the water pressure and farts, unless they live in a different universe where gravity is
Different.
less so.
And he comes up with, he's got a cat. Cat litter will soak up
Its
the
main
steam.
ingredient is bentonite, which, as we all know, is a natural absorbent. Which I did look up because I was hoping he would be wrong, but it seems to check out as far as I can tell.
So they just put a pile of cat litter on top. I'm sure they did not wipe anything up. They just put it right on top of the pudding. So it's not going to work.
It's going to absorb the whole pudding.
It's not going to work anyway. They're disasters. And it stresses me out.
Mm.
Oh, and they open up the door to air out the smell.
I've never owned a cat, but I feel like if you just put cat litter on something, a cat will not immediately come pee on it.
Do cats mark their territory with pee? Or is that just a dog thing? Did they just get Peruvian hairless dogs mixed up with cats?
No, cats.
I think maybe it is just a Peruvian hairless dog, but it looks really weird, and so somebody sold it to Gustavo as a cat. So that
would explain the marking.
Special.
It meows.
It's a weird cat. It's a weird dog.
So,
Maybe it's like they somehow managed to breed a cat and a dog together. Genetic.
like another Nickelodeon
It just looks
show
like
I
a
could
cat.
name.
It just
Maybe it's genetically modified to be more dog-like, and that's how it's the hairless Peruvian. But it's a cat.
So the cat comes to pee on the cat litter that they put on the couch to absorb the pudding, and they all scream because they've never seen a hairless cat before, I guess.
They're from Minnesota.
So
It would
you're
be
like,
too cold there.
get him off the couch. So Carlos grabs the cat and throws it across the house.
Because clearly it started fighting back.
And
Directly out the open door.
yeah. And they're like, okay, there goes rule number
They
4.
live in Minnesota, so they don't know that coyotes exist.
One of them accidentally sits down on this like control panel, and then a disco ball comes down and music starts playing, and there's like club music going. They're like, okay, calm down. All we gotta do, we gotta stand off the couch, find the cat, raise the disco ball, and Kendall's giving a speech. We can do this together. And then they all cheer, and then it's a hard cut to an alarm blaring. It sounds like national disaster. What kind of alarm is that?
Tornado?
Yeah, like a tornado alert. And
Things are worse.
Things are, much worse.
So James has broken the statue.
He thinks he's broken the statue.
He's holding pieces in his hand.
One of them, I think, Kendall has a
Kendall
fire
set
extinguisher.
something on fire.
Because there's been
The
fire.
garbage was on fire.
Cool.
Logan can't find the cat, and the alligator is loose.
There's an alligator?
It crawled in from Gustavo's moat.
His moat?
So their plan is to get a ladder and a broom or just a long stick and tie a piece of raw meat to it and dangle it in front of the alligator, and then they lead it into the downstairs bathroom.
Which, I mean, props to them. That's probably the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Best thing they could have done.
Also, at one point, Kendall says, now to just find Gustavo's freaky bald cat, which is so mean.
And that's when James suggests that they should call the FBI. And then Logan's like, this is because he's the smart one. He says, the FBI only work to serious crimes.
Oh, that explains a lot.
And then it turns out that James once tried to call the FBI because his hair was limp and lifeless, and they hung up on him.
He said it explains a lot. I want to know how many times he's called the FBI. How did he get their number? Why did he think they would help in the first place? Who first told him about the FBI in a way that he thought this is what they were for?
Well, he doesn't want them to fix his hair. He wants them to find out who used all of his crudamazepines.
Oh, he's so dumb. I love it.
So,
There's 3 possible places the cat could be. 1, he's roaming the neighborhood. 2, he's hiding up a tree. And then the alligator burps from inside the bathroom, which is number 3.
I don't think alligators can do that.
Alternate universe, I guess.
So, we're back in North Carolina, and the windmills are ruining Famous more.
They're singing it faster.
Because he asked them to shave 3 seconds off the song. And they did!
So guys, I have some things to say here.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I took the original song, which usually ends with Logan's rap, but obviously they don't end it there. They don't do their rap. So they presumably end after the last chorus. So the song would be 2 minutes, 36 seconds. So that means Gustavo would want it to be 2 minutes, 33 seconds. So Famous, the recorded version, is about 124 beats per minute. And to shave off 3 seconds, it would have to be performed at 126 beats per minute. So like just a tiny bit faster. And the Windmills performed it at 162 BPM. So that would make the entire song 1 minute 59 seconds, and they would have shaved off 37 seconds. So the other possibility...
Time is the same.
No. I mean, yes, but that's number 3. Number 2 is that we don't know how long the song is that they're singing, because we only ever hear the very end of the last verse. Mm-hmm. So in order for their jump to 124 BPM to 162 BPM to shaved off only 3 seconds, the entire song would have originally have been 12.86 seconds. So when they would have brought down to 9.86 seconds. So that suggests that the entire performance was just, you wanna be the one who's living the life. You wanna be famous. You wanna be the one who's taking the free ride. And that's the whole thing. That's the entire song. Because we don't hear anyone perform anything before that. Yeah, or either that or there's a very short intro and then they sing just the part that we hear and then it ends. Okay. So those are the possibilities. Or Gustavo's just really dumb and didn't notice that 37 isn't the same as 3 seconds.
Maybe he said 3 seconds and they heard 3-7.
Maybe. But Gustavo's like, he has a stopwatch and he clicks the stopwatch and goes, amazing.
He just says the word.
He just likes the word amazing.
And then he's like, boys, sing the last note in the key of G. Okay, so they sing it in G, but it's a major chord, and Famous is very much in minor.
Yeah, it's in...
So they definitely ended on a minor chord. So I don't know what they think they're doing.
They're perfect.
Unless when he said key of G, they thought he meant G major and just went with that because he didn't specifically say minor.
Yeah, because the song is in E flat minor, so there's not even a G at all.
And then he has to do it in
Tibetan throat singing.
Whoa. But it's much funnier than that. And then he tells them to go get him a pulled pork sandwich. And they say, yes, sir, Mr. Rock. And then he says...
he likes sandwiches!
But then he says, I don't even eat pulled pork. So...
Which, honestly, disrespectful.
Right. And also, if someone's going to get you food, ask for something you want. What? What's happening?
He's mad with power.
And then Kelly says, what about Kendall, James, Carlos, and Logan? And Gustavo says, who?
Can you go now?
Oh, you mean the monkey dogs that fight me at everything I say? And then he says, well, let's just hope those boys don't give me a reason to dump them, because I know 3 windmills that'll be blowing them back to Minnesota.
The subtitles love that.
And then they found Gustavo's cat.
Well, no, they didn't.
Replacement.
They found a different cat, and then they're
trying to shave it.
Well, because somebody asks Carlos, where did you get a cat? And he goes,
I got a guy.
you got a cat.
So someone said,
they really do map so well onto the Sunny Gang sometimes.
Because they're saying, we can't shave a cat. And then James goes, oh, would you rather tell Gustavo that we lost his and, have him replace us and destroy my dreams? So they don't want to do that, of course. So they're like, hold him steady. And then Kendall's going in with the clippers. It's like, how hard can it be to shave a cat? And
it's very hard. This is a powerful cat.
yeah, it's ripping up everything and like attacking them physically, I guess, due to the states of their clothing and like skin.
Yeah, they got cuts on their face. Their hair is all over the place.
Their shirts are ripped.
It does spray paint cats' rule on their wall. And it's the same sort of arm that Lightning the...
Yep.
I keep wanting to say Teenage Wonder Dog, but it's not Teenage Wonder Dog.
Lightning the TV Wonder Dog.
Yeah, it's the same type of arm. So, again, if this is another universe, that's just how animal arms work. Sucks, yeah.
I wrote powerful spray paint cat.
Yeah.
Which one of them says he learned to spray paint? 'Cause
Carlos. So I guess whoever his guy is.
Oh, man,
why does Gustavo have spray paint?
I think the cat brought it.
How did they not notice that?
Also, how does Carlos already have a guy in California? How many
No, he
cat
got his Minnesota cat guy to expedite one.
Oh god. How did that first of all, that cannot have happened that quickly.
No,
so he has to have a California cat guy. How many cat related situations?
Probably a network of cat guys and he just
Okay, that's better than like they have needed many cats over the past 2-3 weeks that they've been here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, do you guys remember when they opened the fridge and saw the chocolate pudding?
Yes.
Do you guys also remember the Ode to Joy that was playing with the chorus and the triumphant strings?
Yeah.
Cool. I just wanted to talk about that for a
I
second.
thought we did.
I thought we did too. I couldn't remember and I wanted to make sure we did. So never mind all of that.
Beethoven shows up a lot in this one.
So the next scene is like really short, and I don't really know why they put such a small scene in there, but it's just Mrs. Knight putting a humidifier right in front of Katie's face, who wants steam, and then wraps her in a bunch of blankets.
But also
Just to show that she's still smothering her.
the transition music is famous, but it's the faster version by the Windmills, which I thought was fun.
That is fun. And then, speaking of the windmills,
And
that goes-
Beethoven.
Oh, and that's where she says she ordered extra blankets from housekeeping. So does housekeeping provide like all of their bedding? Because that's why.
Well, they don't have a laundry.
They don't?
They don't have a washer dryer. In the
How do you know? We don't know where their bedrooms are.
She's done laundry before.
Yeah.
Carlos sleeps in the swirly slide, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we can't. We cannot
So
do this.
We don't have enough evidence.
the
We can't keep
windmills,
doing this.
the windmills are covering Furlies on the piano, harp, and violin. Gustavo is like shutting down because he misses the boys. And they're like, do you not like that we're classically trained?
We can classically untrain ourselves.
Which is what I did to myself. Unintentionally.
But also, it read very much like, do you want us to nap? Because we totally nap if you want.
Also, it's like 3 Jameses.
Yeah.
But like less self-centered.
3 nice Jameses.
Oh, weird. Oh, God.
Okay,
weird
but we don't
vibe.
know what they're like when they're not in front of Gustavo.
It's true.
Because that is what James is like in front of Gustavo.
He's always like that.
Mm-hmm. They're all the pretty one. There is no bad boy.
Not, and I don't know if it's just me. I didn't think any of them were very pretty. They had very.
Oh, no, just if they're all James.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't think their hairstyles were doing any of them.
It was hard
any
because one of them does look like CJA, famous rapper. So he's like, well, I can't just leave them. They idolize me. I can't.
I'm their hero.
I like when they ask, would you like us to get you a multivitamin?
It's like, it's not like there's record producers waiting outside to sign them. And then Kelly opens the door and all the record producers pile in because they're
fall
waiting
in the
outside.
room. So Gustavo misses them, and Kelly reads the room and says, I think you miss your boy, or your monkey dogs, or your boy monkeys.
Yes.
They raise your blood pressure and you like it. You need it.
I don't like that.
And then that's when Gustavo's like, I can't abandon the windmills. I'm their hero.
And then all the record producers pile in. And what I really appreciate is they're like, oh, hey Gustavo, hey, hi. And he just goes, yeah, you can, they're all yours. Go for it. And so they wait until they have the okay from Gustavo before they try to sign them.
Yeah, that's
And I think
nice.
that's very respectful.
North Carolina. We're back in 2J, and Mrs. Knight is trying to feed Katie like what's bigger than a tablespoon?
2 tablespoons.
I don't think there's like a name.
It's
Right?
just a big giant spoon. It's the same kind of giant that the syringe that they tried to stab James with in the previous episode.
It's like a serving
was.
spoon.
Yeah.
So she's trying to serve her on this serving spoon extra strength NyQuil with real artificial cherry flavor.
I guess this was Katie's limit.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to take medicine.
No. So she admits everything, that she's faking it.
And she says, wow, that's a big spoon. I also said that before she said it.
Wow, you could write the show.
I could not.
I need to go back to the episode for a second, because I know the spoon gets put down at some point, but I don't know.
She doesn't dump the medicine out.
So does she?
She just sets the spoon down.
Okay.
It's very vexing.
But we don't see it, right?
No.
It's like, okay.
You hear it happen. You hear it clatter onto the table. I watched to see if she was going to pour it out, and she didn't.
Oh no.
She's losing it.
She is.
She needs Kendall back.
She does.
Katie admits that she lied.
And Mrs. Knight is touched that she would do that because she cares or whatever. It's a sweet moment, much better than it could have gone. She's going to let go, and she's going to even call Kendall to tell him that he doesn't need to check in, which Katie advises against.
And then at one point, Katie tries to get free, and she's like, of the blankets, and she's like, "You mummified me!" Which is, I think, my favorite Katie line so far in the entire show. So,
Speaking of the boys who don't need to check in, they've decided that Logan, the smart one, has to come up with an idea. Just get them out of this. And they do say, "Oh, smart one, I knew it'd come through."
earlier, when Kendall says Logan Brain Now, I wrote down that Kendall has become Gustavo in Gustavo's absence.
Oh,
yeah.
That's very much a Gustavoism.
Yes.
Yes.
So Logan's plan is there's a flight that leaves at 4 a.m. They can move to Bolivia, change their names, and raise alpacas.
And he starts like, he doesn't do his full maniacal laugh, but he definitely hints at it, which is fun.
Well, Kendall says, I have a better idea.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna call one of those maid services?
One of those places that gets the cats out of the alligators.
And there was a third thing.
Statue repairman.
Yes, that's true.
And he says all of the above, and he calls his mom. Does Mrs. Knight know how to get cats out of alligators?
Does she have prior experience?
I think it's just a moms can do anything situation where he just
Okay.
has so much faith in her.
Yeah, that's cute.
It's very sweet.
So she and Katie show up, and
She starts pointing, barking orders, telling them how to fix everything, and they do. There's a cute little montage.
it's set to the instrumental of City is Ours.
Oh, yeah.
They see the hairless Peruvian cat, and Katie's like, "That's a cat!" Everyone is super mean to hairless cats all the time for no reason.
Yeah.
When did they find out Gustavo's coming back early? Did they find this out yet?
Oh, right before they have to call in the cavalry.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so-
why they did it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Because they're in the taxi now.
Yeah.
And then Kelly's trying to coach him on how to be nice to the boys. And, like, they made a little script and everything. Gustavo's supposed to say that he likes them and he thanks them for all the hard work. And then he goes, unless they touch anything in my mansion, then it's, I hate you! And you're dead! You hear me? Dead!
I wanted him to cause another earthquake.
He will eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then as they're pulling up to the mansion, there's 10 seconds left on the quick dry glue, and James and Carlos have to hold it steady for 10 more seconds, but they're running out of time. Oh
Our code for Gustavo showing up is Bigfoot's in the campground. Which is not, I don't think that's true, because Bigfoot doesn't live in a campground, he lives in the woods.
no! And also,
Well, no, but he has entered the campground.
And
I know
also
it doesn't reflect his own home, but...
oh yeah, no, it doesn't relate in any way, because Bigfoot is like hard to find and mysterious. And Gustavo is not those things.
Well, I mean, they had a lot of other stuff to do, so they probably weren't firing on all cylinders with
They haven't
been firing on cylinders
at all, yeah.
And they're all wearing cutesy pajamas.
Not yet, they're
Well,
still in their ripped clothes.
Right, because Gustavo's up to the door at this point.
Yeah.
And he spends like 30 seconds trying to unlock his front door, which is
Relatable.
half made of glass and has a direct sight line to the statue. But I guess he's just not seeing it. Yeah, then Mrs. Knight books it out of there. Statue's done.
But Kendall says, wait, Mom. Thanks.
And then she blows him a little kiss.
Do not have time for it.
And then they, like, duck out the back door, I guess.
Yeah, and like Kendall dives into...
I thought you said Kendall died.
Yes, rip. Kendall dives into...
His last words were, Mom, thanks.
Oh, that's really cute, actually. Also so sad because that means she has to bury her child.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, when I
Yeah, Gustavo can't find a dead body, so now she's got to take care of that.
I didn't mean it like that. I mean, like, no parents have to bury their child.
Oh, I mean, that's true.
I guess go morbid if you want. Anyway, Kendall leaps into wherever the boys are, and they, in like
2 seconds change into their jammies?
Which they change way faster. So the first episode of season 3 or season 4, they're trying to beat NSYNC's backstage world record change time or something.
And
Which
they
was,
can't!
what was that, like 4.7 seconds or something?
Like that.
Because this was way faster.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's different outfits, I guess. Maybe the stage outfits are way harder.
Honestly, they could have just put the jammies on over their clothes.
True.
Yeah.
And I say jammies because that's the only way to describe them.
Yeah, they're wearing like cutesy pajama sets, and they have nightcaps, but the nightcaps do not match.
I know, at first I was like, oh man, they just swapped nightcaps, but they
Nope.
don't. They didn't. They're just awful.
My favorite one is Logan's that has cacti on them. And I like how Kendall's has dinosaurs on it, even though he's too old for his dinosaur-shaped chicken.
Well, that's just the chicken. It doesn't mean he's too old for dinosaurs.
Mrs. Knight knows that he wants to be over it and just
Right.
keeps dunking on him by buying him chicken. Oh my god, that's buying him dinosaur themes.
But also, okay, so he's wearing dinosaur footy pajamas, but his nightcap is just flannel. And it's huge. It's like a Santa cap made of flannel.
Carlos is on underneath his helmet, which I really enjoy.
Yes. He's got like food on his pajamas, which is cute. And
Like breakfast food, like bacon and eggs.
James is wearing a matching pajamas. He's not wearing footy pajamas because he's too fancy for that. But also he's wearing this hideous. It looks in the colors like it matches Carlos's, but it's different shapes on it. It's confusing and upsetting.
Which completely and totally matches his zebra print. Whatever he...
Why don't people wear nightcaps anymore? They're fun.
Because now nightcap means alcohol, and
That's
people
true.
like that better.
Gustavo shows up, and the mansion is spotless.
Wow, and the boys are just stretching and waking up. They're sitting in this little couch.
Because they didn't want to touch anything. Carlos says, yeah, we're not just pretending.
I love him. Oh, he's back, guys. Bring him back.
And Gustavo goes, silence! Monty? And then the cat jumps into his arms. And then what the boys say, one of them goes, hey little guy. Another one just says, hairless cat. Someone else is so cute.
Gustavo totally has loved.
True.
He has a cat.
Yeah. So the boys are trying really hard to get out of there as soon as possible before anything goes wrong, before he notices anything. But Gustavo still has to say his little speech that he practiced. So Haleigh is looking at him with, you need to do this, and I will not let you word me way out of this.
And so he gives this little speech.
He goes, we've been working together for a month now, and we've had our ups and downs, but the truth is, and he has trouble getting this out, because he goes, I love. And then he says, he finally gets it out, I like you. And immediately upon finishing that sentence, the statue cracks in half and shatters to the ground. And then they say, we like you too. And then they run away.
And this is when I noticed that James has a pink bag, which is only relevant because in one of the movies, he just is super upset at Kendall for having a pink bag. But
yeah.
Well,
I bet Mrs. Knight packed this one.
that's fair. Double standard. Anyway, they run away.
Well, on the way out, Carlos hands Kelly the cat that they were unable to shave. He goes, here, have the cat. And then James says, thanks for the pudding. See you. So Gustavo is grabbing his head. He's yelling for aspirin. And then he runs into the bathroom to grab the aspirin.
And then Kendall pokes his head back in and says, oh, hey, might not want to use the bathroom. And then Gustavo discovers there's an alligator in his bathroom.
So there's a lot of screaming.
We end on Gustavo fighting this alligator. Probably may not survive. I don't know how alligators do.
Can you imagine if the next episode was just Gustavo's funeral?
How many people have to die in this episode?
Big time funeral.
Is that the episode title?
Yes. Big time wake. Give a better eulogy than the other, and they would all be super backhanded and mean and shitty, and then eventually Kendall would be like, no, but...
Oh, Kendall's also dead, though. I thought.
No, he's not dead. Not in those.
Nice, okay.
Not in Big Time Wake.
See, I like Big Time Funeral better.
Big Time
I
Funeral
thought it
was
was too on the nose. So that's it. We end on Gustavo fighting the alligator.
Which presumably, I mean, we know Gustavo does survive in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hear about the alligator, but
Oh no.
I mean, maybe it's just back in the moat.
Yeah, because it's one of his pets. So maybe you're just
Well,
surprised.
What if you have like a tank of eels? You know, when you have electric eels to like lock people out. I don't know if you call those like your pets and you're like friends with them. So you have to keep the alligator angry to keep out intruders.
But Gustavo wants everything to respect and fear him.
It fears him. Oh,
See?
yeah, that's how he gets out of it.
So,
Yeah, but one day that is going to bite him in the butt because something like an alligator will not will not succumb to whatever he is putting out into the world.
Pudding.
yeah, did anyone have any things for this? I forgot to look for like trivia about it.
Let's see what fun facts we have. This is the only time Gustavo's mansion is shown.
No, I wanted to
Well,
see.
he has how many houses? 9 houses or something? He yells it in the pilot. I don't remember.
Okay, I found a really good thing. Goofs on http://www.nick.com/shows/TV schedule. The title is misspelled as Big Time Mation.
Oh, I thought I was reading as maison, like the French version.
Okay, but
Oh, but the I's in the wrong spot.
the goof directly under that is that when the camera's on the statue and the windows on the far right look at the window closest to the statue, what is that thing that appears and then disappears?
Period.
I need to know! Can someone pull it up? I don't want to like
Yeah, I
make
can
too
pull it
many
up in a
clicking noises
second.
on my computer.
Real quick, so I clicked on that link and it just tells me like what's on right now on Nickelodeon.
What's on?
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, nice.
One of the comments is why there are alligator in the mansion. So I respect
It's a
that.
moat. They explained it.
No, this person wasn't
I'm
listening.
trying to decipher that one goof, the thing that disappears, and figure out when it's talking about that. Oh,
Sorry. And also in guest starring, it says like the Windmills actor names, but it just says like Cayman Edwards as Windmill.
Why did they call them the Windmills? Did
North
they name
Carolina?
themselves that? Is there a correlation between North Carolina and windmills?
If this is the correct guy,
The blonde guy is like in stuff.
yeah, 4-time Emmy Award winning film
come so
and
far.
Broadway actor and producer.
Shit.
He was in the revival of All My Children. He starred on Broadway alongside Ariana Grande.
In what?
13 the musical.
Okay, I looked up North Carolina windmills and it just gave me a map with different windmill locations in North Carolina, so.
Nice. He has appeared in over 30 television series, including iCarly.
No.
Alright, where's his filmography? Here we go. Yeah, Big Time Rush as Windmill. That's wild.
Wild.
In the same year, he was also on The Good Wife. This was like halfway through his career.
I would be on Big Time Rush at any point in my career.
That's fair.
I think.
He hadn't won an Emmy yet, though.
Did he win an Emmy for Big Time Rush?
No.
Is he actually classically trained at whatever instrument he played?
I don't think so, but he was on Broadway. Alright, AJ Mendoza was not in a lot of stuff. He was in American Idol.
Was he on American Idol or in American Idol?
Sorry, on American Idol.
Do you think he sounds like the windmill sounded? He can't have, right?
No.
I don't know what this is talking about with the windows.
Ooh. Yeah, the other guy's just been in stuff. He played Harry in the 2007 video short Harry Potter in the Hood.
Oh no.
And also, oh dear, he played Link/Edward Cullen on the TV series X-Play in the episode Twilight Modern Warfare 2. He also was on The Tonight Show as Master Chief. Good for him. He's done some other things, but not a lot.
I can't. I'm looking so hard at the windows.
On the far right,
Okay, but the thing
closest
is,
to the statue?
it says when the camera is on the statue and the windows on the far right. Then it says look at the window closest to the statue, which is on the left side. So I'm checking all the windows now. There's nothing out there. There's nothing out there. That's a lie. This person's not hearing it.
Okay, so if you're looking
Alright.
at trivia,
That person's wrong.
Oh my, no, please, like,
I mean, if you
find out what it means.
yeah, if you find out, let us know.
This feels like I don't know if we've talked about this. That Spotify playlist Haleigh found, Big Time Rush songs in a specific order, and we can't figure out what the order is, and it's ruining Haleigh's life.
A little bit. So if you are Kiana Scarpa and you made a Spotify playlist about Big Time Rush, hit us up on. We have handles, right?
Yeah, we do.
Where can they hit us up?
All right, hit us up on Twitter. We're at BTR_podcast. You can email us at bigtimerushpod, all one word, at gmail.com, or find us at btr-podcast.tumblr.com. Please talk to us. We just want to talk about Big Time Rush a lot.
That's really the only reason that we're doing this.
Yeah, because, we roped Ashton into it, but this is her first time going through it, but no one else really wants to get on that bandwagon with us. So it's the only life you got, so you gotta live it girl time.
Our pants are cold.
Unless you have a sinus.
Girl, my.
Wait, this is paused?
Is it still going? That's fine. I just want to practice
Maggie, we can say whatever the fuck we want
Is it
to
paused?
now. I don't know. I don't know what
either.
it looks like.
Cool.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
You want girl, that's the God I'll be. Turn yourself upside down.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
We got it right. Change your mind, I will be there.
Bring it back.
Did you pause that?
No.
Oh, cool.
Okay.